all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNINews video. And it's Wednesday, it's my birthday, and we got a lot of news to cover, so let's jump right into it. And let's start off with some Marvel news. So this morning we got treated to a surprise reveal. I don't think these had actually leaked out, at least not in any real way. Now, these are not 6-inch figures. They are being released under the Marvel Legends banner, but they are a new line of 3 3/4-inch retro figures. So if you collect Star Wars or you collect Ghostbusters or even G.I. Joe to a certain extent, though I think they kind of missed the mark on the G.I. Joe stuff. But, you know they've taken figures, basically with Star Wars, they re-released essentially Kenner, almost exact Kenner figures on Kenner-like card backs. They were released as Walmart exclusives. They've done figures for A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and they'll be doing them for Return of the Jedi as well. Well, that's what I think Hasbro is kind of shooting for with this Marvel line here. Now, with Marvel, as far as 3 3/4-inch figures go, with minimal articulation, these are figures that have about 5 points of articulation. So the correlating action figure line from the 80s that you would think they would do are the Secret Wars action figures. Unfortunately, those were put out by Mattel, which is obviously a major competitor of Hasbro. So my guess is the reason why we're not getting actual Secret War recreated figures in a line is because they can't do that because of them being part of Hasbro or Mattel's, figures that Mattel did. So instead of that, what they've done is essentially kind of created their own thing. So the figures are still, they're very much that 80s, Kenner or Secret Wars design with the 5 points of articulation. Now they don't have any kind of gimmicky accessories like the Secret Wars figures did back in the day with the holographic shields. They have standard accessories and stuff. But again, that's really what I think they were going for. Now, they've branded these Marvel Comics Presents, which was an old comic book series. Even has the same kind of header on the packaging. However, like the covers that they show here are not any that actually appeared in that comic book series. They're their own thing. But they're doing them as 2-packs, so you get the outer box packaging and then you get the individual card backs of the figures. And again, these are not based on any previous toy line. Kenner never did 3 3/4-inch Marvel figures. Again, that's something Mattel did back then. So the sets, they've announced 3 different sets. So they're doing Captain America with Black Panther, Iron Man with Cyclops, and Spider-Man with Electro. And the sets are going to cost $20 each. They're going to be going up for pre-order this weekend on September 25th after the Pulsecon Marvel panel, which takes place at some point during the day. We don't have an exact time on that one, but it's going to take place sometime on Friday. And so these will be going up for pre-order later in the day at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So again, these are based on retro design, so they only have minimal articulation. They have pretty cool, snazzy artwork on the packaging. That's really my feeling is that's the main selling point here. If you're going to get these, you're probably not going to open them up. You might take them out of that outer box and hang up hang them up on your wall or something with the single card backs, but I don't think you want to really open these. Maybe you will, I don't know. But again, I think they were going for that retro Star Wars, retro Ghostbusters. That was their idea. Now, for me personally, I feel like Hasbro maybe kind of missed the mark a little bit here. What I think they should have done, and I've seen some people that seem to really like these, so I'm not saying people aren't going to buy these, but I think what they should have done with these, and maybe it would have been a little more expensive, but I would have taken the original 5-inch Toy Biz figures and recreated those down to the exact figure and accessories and everything, and then released those on Toy Biz-esque card backs. Obviously, we've got the Toy Biz card backs before, but not a recreation of the original Toy Biz 5-inch figures. And that's really the line that got me into collecting superhero figures. I have a few of the Secret Wars figures from Mattel. I have, you know, Captain America on the back wall there, but it's really that Toy Biz 5-inch line that got me into collecting. So I feel like if they were really trying to hit that nostalgia button, if they had done that, if they had recreated the original 5-inch figures, I think that would have been an even bigger hit than what these will do. But again, that might have cost more because those figures have a little more articulation. They have knee joints and stuff. So maybe that's why they didn't go that route. I mean, I think they definitely, you know, they work with Jesse Falcon. You know, they have a good relationship with Marvel, who own Toy Biz. So, you know, I think they definitely probably could have gone that route if they wanted to. But again, maybe cost just prevented it. I don't know. But as it is, if you do like this kind of thing, if you like 5 points of articulated figures that look like, you know, old Kenner type figures, and you like nice packaging, then this is for you. Again, it'll be going up for pre-order this coming Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. The sets cost $20 each. Now, for you Marvel Legend fans, we do have a tiny little reveal for you guys. So you may recall that every year Marvel Comics does a Marvel Legend exclusive figure through their digital Marvel Unlimited service. Well, they're doing another one this year, and it has been revealed thanks to a heads up from MCU Collector. So last time was a pink or purplish pink Deadpool. This time they are doing a repaint of their Miss Marvel figure, their Marvel Legends Miss Marvel figure, and she's repainted to look like she's cosplaying as Spider-Man. So if you want to get this one, you'll have to subscribe. You'll have to re-up your subscription for Marvel Unlimited. Now, at this time, it's not actually gone live. They still, if you go to the Marvel Unlimited website, they're still listing the Deadpool figure. But this one should be going live soon. And, you know, if you're a Miss Marvel fan, or maybe even if you're a Spider-Man fan, you might want to get this one. Probably if you're not really into comics, I wouldn't bother, but you know, if you're doing the digital comic thing, it's always cool to get a free figure. The final bit of Marvel news I have for you guys today is actually not toy related, but I wanted to go and share with you. So just today, Disney announced new release dates for 3 of their MCU movies. So we kind of knew this was coming. We pretty much figured that Black Widow was going to be delayed again. It was originally it was going to come out this past May, and then they moved it to this November. Well, now they're moving it to May of next year. So May 7th, 2021 is the new release date for Black Widow. That will be followed by Shang-Chi, which will be released on July 9th of next year. And then finally, the Eternals movie will be released in November 5th. Salome, everybody, dropping in. No accessories here for you to steal, Salome. If you caught my live stream video the other day, Salome was trying to steal accessories. But she's here just to enjoy the news. So anyway, getting back to the news. So anyway, basically what it looks like is they've kind of reset their dates for next year. Black Widow's going back to a May release date, and Shang-Chi's going to July, and then Eternals will end up back in a November release date. Eternals was originally going to be released this year, November. Now that likely means that any action figures based on these movies, obviously Black Widow figures are already out, but that probably will further push the Eternals figures as well as Shang-Chi figures. So even though we know there are waves of those coming, I would not expect to see them or even be talked about anytime soon. Okay, now moving from Marvel to Transformers, we got some new Transformer reveals. All these reveals are coming ahead of the Pulsecon convention this weekend. This is really what I was expecting to see yesterday during that video thing that ended up just being a commercial for the Hero Quest game, which, by the way, has been fully funded. They and I think it maybe went just over 24 hours, but they reached their $1 million goal, so that is definitely going through. You had 2 options, either a $100 option or a $150 option, and again, those gamers don't mess around, and they have funded that baby at $1 million, and probably I wouldn't be surprised if that thing ends up doubling the amount they pull in for it. So those of you wondering why they went the HasLab route, that is probably exactly why. And from what I don't follow gaming that much, but from what I hear, gamers are known for quickly funding these kinds of crowdsourcing things for these types of games. So I'm sure that's went into the decision process of Hasbro going this route. So it is fully funded. I still I didn't appreciate how they were kind of misleading with yesterday's video. But there you go, paid off for them, and the world goes on. But anyway, today we got some Transformer reveals. So these are figures. Some of these we had seen leak out already. These are being released under the War for Cybertron, Kingdom banner, and most of these are based on, old Beast War designs, which is not something I'm personally that into. I enjoyed the Beast Wars cartoon, which I actually didn't watch when it first aired. I watched it later on when it was released on DVD. But I thought it was a good series, but I never got into the toys, again, probably because I didn't watch it when it was first released. But there's one non-Beast Wars figure, so they are doing Cyclonus from the original Transformer movie, and obviously Season 3. That's the one I'm probably most excited for. And then we're also getting Megatron, which I don't think Megatron's actually been seen before. Megatron they managed to keep as a secret, I'm hearing. So Megatron is going to be released in this line, and the detail on it looks pretty good. And then they're also doing Rat Trap, which is actually I do like Rat Trap. I might end up getting that one. And Cheetor is the other one that they're doing. So these are going to be going up for pre-order this weekend after the Transformer panel on Saturday. So these are going to be available at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. Okay, now while we're on the subject of Hasbro, let's stick with them. There was also another reveal for a new property that they're doing. So Hasbro is getting into the Zoids game. So Zoids are figures that have been put out by Tommy over the years, and they've seen release here in the United States before, but Hasbro is now doing it. It's not a line I've ever been that into, so it's not one I'm super familiar with, but it is a classic line. I know there are a lot of Zoids fans out there. So they have announced 2 different figures, which are going to cost about $20 each. And by the way, they've actually added a Zoids panel for Pulsecon this weekend. It's going to be on Saturday. So if you are into Zoids, you might want to check that one out. But they're doing, these are called Mega Battlers. So they are doing Ruin, the Raptor, and then Tanks is a turtle. So again, I don't really follow Zoids that much, so I'm assuming these are maybe recreations of figures that have been done before, but they're kind of like build them type stuff. So they have little mini figures, 45 pieces. They're said to have the Ruin is said to have about 45 pieces, and the Tanks is said to have about 53 pieces. So if you're into Zoids, Hasbro's bringing them at a fairly affordable price. Again, they're only going to cost $20 each and will be out later this year. Real quick for you G.I. Joe fans who live in Canada. So if you've been wanting to get your hands on those Cobra Island Missions figures that here in the U.S. are Target exclusives, that includes the Cobra Trooper, the Beachhead figure, the second version of Roadblock, and Baroness. Well, they are starting to hit Toys R Us stores in Canada. So if you want to get them, that's the place to go. A big thanks to Toy Time and Steven for the heads up. If you need the SKN number for them, it is 480773. Okay, so while I was filming today's video, Hasbro went on and updated with times for their panels for this weekend's Pulse convention, which was nice of them. So I just wanted to go over these pretty quickly with you guys. We will, of course, be providing full coverage or highlights of these panels. Of course, you can watch them live if you want to on YouTube, on the Hasbro Pulse YouTube, and we'll have them embedded on the websites as well. But we'll have images and text, so if you're in a place where you can't watch a video or what have you, definitely you'll want to check out the sites. But Friday is the Star Wars and the Marvel panels, and it looks like they're going to get the longest panels of the weekend in regards to toys. So Star Wars actually gets 2 toy-related panels, one for the regular Star Wars, which is going to be taking place at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All these times are Eastern Time. So that's at 1:30 on Friday, and then they get, right after that at 2:30, they are getting a Hasbro Pulse panel. Now, I'm going to assume that there are some type of intermission between each of these panels. Probably I'm thinking maybe 15-minute breaks between each one. So I am thinking that probably like the regular Hasbro panel is going to be about maybe 50 minutes long, and then the one for the Hasbro Pulse is going to be about 20 minutes. So I'm thinking, total, we're probably talking, an hour and 20 minutes, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Now, again, that could vary, essentially, because I don't know how long the intermissions, and it's even an assumption that there will be intermissions, but I can't imagine that they're going to do all these panels in a row without having intermissions between each one. So, and then the Marvel panel is a little bit later in the day. It is going to start at 3:25 p.m. Eastern Time. And that one, the next panel after that, which is a musical performance, isn't until 4:45. So I'm thinking this will probably, they might give the Hasbro panel a full hour, 50 minutes at least, but they might actually give them a full hour. So again, one of the longest panels of the weekend. Now, on Saturday, that's when we're going to get the G.I. Joe, the Transformers, the Power Rangers, Ghostbusters, and Zoids even. And with that, Zoids is the shortest, which they just kind of crammed in there. Probably stole a little bit of G.I. Joe's time away from it. But the G.I. Joe panel starts things off at 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time. And then the Zoids panel begins at 10:50. So I'm thinking probably the G.I. Joe panel is going to last between 30 and 40 minutes. Again, depending on how much of an intermission there is between the two panels. Now the Zoid panel goes from 10:50 to 11:10, so less than 20 minutes on that one. Then there's multiple Transformer panels. There's an entertainment panel at 11:10. There's a Cybertron Kingdom toy reveal, which I don't know if they're going to have anything more than what we just saw today, but that's going to be at 10:40. And then there's a 12:30 panel with the voices of that inspired a generation of Transformer fans. I think Peter Cullen, it was recently announced he's going to be a guest, so he's probably going to be sitting in on that panel. Optimus Prime, of course. Then there are some musical performances, and then at 1:50 there's the Ghostbusters panel, which originally I thought they had said there was going to be 3 different Ghostbuster panels, so it looks like maybe they're just down to 1. And then at 3 o'clock p.m. is the Power Rangers panel. So maybe there is, I mean, we go from 1:50 to 3 o'clock. Well, that's an hour and 10 minutes, so I don't know. But that panel, you know, it's probably, the Ghostbusters is probably going to be a mix of not just toys. In fact, I would say probably toys is going to be the least thing about it. They've got Ernie Hudson as a guest, so that's probably where he's going to show up at. Then we've got the Power Rangers panel at 3 o'clock. There's a Power Rangers entertainment panel, which is going to focus on the TV series at 3:45. So it looks like the toy panel portion is only going to be about 30 minutes, again, like the G.I. Joe. And then there's a musical performance from Fall Out Boy at 4:30 p.m. So that's how things break down. Again, these could vary, but I mean the start time should be pretty much concrete. I mean, they might vary a little bit, but as far as how long the actual panels are, that's going to vary a little bit, just again based on how much of an intermission they have between these panels. Loyal Subjects has released some new images for more of their 5-inch figures, which are part of their new BST AXN line. So we're getting new images for the Naruto figures, the 2 figures they're doing for that. Also the Kiss Demon figure, so if you're a fan of Kiss, you might want to check that one out. And then Gandalf the Grey from Lord of the Rings. So far, that's the only Lord of the Ring figure that they've announced for this line. Again, these are 5-inch. They cost about $16 each. They're said to have about 25 points of articulation, so they should have pretty good movement to them. And these are starting to hit shelves at places like Walmart. They're not Walmart exclusives. I think Hot Topics is also starting to get them in. They probably will end up being sold online as well, but I have not seen anyone start to take pre-orders for them. But again, they're not like Walmart exclusives. That's just the first place that has started to carry them. The Kiss figure should be hitting shelves on October 17th, but the others should be hitting shelves now. For you Doctor Who fans, and this is not a line that I cover on any regular basis, but some new images have been released for the 5.5-inch line of figures put out by the company called Character. So these images, heads up on these images thanks to the folks at Doctor Who Figure History. So these are multi-packs. They've been doing their limited editions, so they've been doing these, so it's a continuation of that. And with these new ones, we're getting the companions of the 3rd and 4th Doctors. We are getting a 3-pack that features the friends of the 13th Doctor. We are getting a set that includes Unit 1975, Terror of the Zygons. So classic Doctor Strange there. And then also there is a new single pack with the Doctor, the 5th Doctor with the TARDIS from the Visitation. And then there's also a 2-pack, a new 2-pack, 2-pack number 3 featuring the history of the Daleks. Now I don't know why, but I've just never gotten into Doctor Who, so I've seen an episode here or there, but it's just never something I've really ever gotten into. But every time I see those Daleks, I always think of the robot that appeared in the Bionic Man. I don't know if old schoolers might know what I'm talking about. If you've ever watched the Bionic Man series, there was this big robot. That's always when I see these things, that's what they remind me of. But anyway, these should be going up for pre-order pretty soon at places that carry the Doctor Who figures. So, and I think Amazon does carry these. So if you want to get your hands on them, again, they should be up for pre-order in the very near future. Okay, and then the final bit of news I wanted to share with you guys today comes on the Super 7 front. So the folks over at Fush did an interview with Brian Flynn. I will put a link to their video interview if you want to check it out if you haven't. It's a bit long, but I just want to go over some of the highlights. So not a whole lot of news from Thundercats. However, Brian did say in the interview that he is expecting Wave 2 to be delayed quite a bit until next year. Wave 2 is the last wave of figures that they used the Mattel factory with. When they first took over the line, they tried using the same factory that Mattel was using. But things didn't really work out just because the orders that Super 7 put in just aren't big enough for the factory to really give them the time of day. So their product always goes on the back burner is essentially what's been happening. So they are changing to their own factory that they use with their other lines, and that will start with Wave 3. But because of the Wave 2 figures, we are going to see a significant delay. He seemed to feel like they're probably going to be delayed until after the Chinese New Year, which takes place in February. So that means we're probably not going to see the second wave of figures released until March. Now, he did say that after that, you can expect Wave 3 to be released like about a month later, and then Wave 4 to be released a month after that. So once we get through this long delay here, then we should start seeing the figures released on a much more regular basis. So, these things do happen, especially with small companies, so I don't think it's that big a deal. Now, he mentioned something in the interview about they were looking at maybe offering something special as an apology to everybody for the delay. Now, it wasn't entirely clear if he meant they're going to throw something into one of the figures in Wave 2 that we haven't seen before, or if they're just going to offer some. I don't know, but they might even try and do something as an apology for the delay. But again, I think you have to understand with small companies like Super 7, where they don't have a lot of clout with these overseas factories, that sometimes their stuff ends up, like I said, on the back burner. So but they are taking steps obviously to fix it, and so hopefully this will be the last major delay in the Thundercats line. Now, they're not going to reveal any more Thundercat figures. We just got recently the reveal for Wave 4. They're not going to reveal any more until Wave 2 actually ships, so we probably won't see Wave 5 of Thundercats until February of next year, around Toy Fair time, even though technically Toy Fair is not happening this year. But that's probably when we'll see the next wave revealed. And then for Turtles, the two pieces of news that stood out to me were that they announced that they are redoing the head sculpt for the April O'Neil figure. I know a lot of people were not too happy with it, including myself. I believe I said in one of the videos it looked like crap, and they obviously agreed. So they are redoing it. They haven't showed us what the new head sculpt looks like, but they said significant changes were being made to it. There's also going to be a second head sculpt released with that figure that has her wearing some headphones. So if you were holding off on April, then you might want to rethink. I would probably wait until they actually reveal what the new head sculpt's going to look like. Now, obviously, the initial pre-orders for that wave have closed, but I think you can still get them at places like Big Bad Toy Store. Now, the first wave has sold out pretty much everywhere, but they also mentioned in the interview that they are almost 100% reissuing Wave 1 with some slight modifications. Essentially what they're looking to do is just kind of change up the coloring just a little bit on the weapons rack, just so they're a little bit different from the previous figures. But they are essentially so that people who missed out on the first wave, they're making it essentially available again. Now, specific details on that have yet to be made, but Brian said in the interview that it was 99.9% going to be happening. And then probably the biggest thing that stood out to me is they announced that they are definitely doing an Ultimates Usagi Yojimbo figure, which we will see next year in 2021, which I don't think it'll be released next year, but it'll be solicited. Maybe it'll be released, I don't know. But they're definitely doing Usagi Yojimbo. Now, NECA had previously indicated they wanted to do Usagi as well, But because Usagi isn't actually part of the Turtle license, we see Usagi was brought over into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe, but it wasn't actually created by the Turtle creators, so it is a different license. And so but Super 7 has it locked in, everything locked in. NECA was hoping to make it happen, and probably will make it happen at some point, but it looks like Super 7 is going to get to it first. And so, if you're a Usagi Yojimbo fan, this is one you're probably going to be excited about. And again, they say it's definitely coming. And then they also indicated that for both Turtles and Thundercats, they've planned already through Wave 7. So we're at least going to get 7 waves for each of those brands. Assuming everything goes well, continues to sell well, they'll go beyond that. But definitely they have everything planned and mapped out for 7 waves of figures. Okay, so that's it for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about. Let me know in the comments section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.